It's the year of 1879 and a new workers' assembly hall can finally be inaugurated in Copenhagen, Denmark. The building, initiated, built and paid for by workers, has been a great ambition for several years. There must be an end to the fact that workers can only meet secretly in taverns and dance halls and risk eavesdropping and harassment from the police. And now they are finally here, the workers in their very own building, declared open with the words, "This will be a building where you can speak out and think freely." For the next 100 years, the building is a gathering place for Copenhagen workers in both professional, political, cultural and social contexts. They have meetings with heated discussions and committed speakers. They agree to binding settlements and they build strong communities. At the same time, the history of the labor movement is collected and preserved and made available for all. It's the year of 1984, and the building, which is the oldest workers' assembly building in Europe and the second oldest in the world, is listed as a protected heritage building. Just 2 years earlier, the Workers' Museum had been granted ownership of the building. The museum combines the history of the assembly hall and the history of the Danish labor movement with present-day concerns about how workers' culture could be more relevant to society. Newcomers to Denmark learn Danish at the museum and gain important insight into history through the objects and stories the museum has collected, disseminated and preserved. Students of all ages learn about activism, labor history and democratic participation by interacting with history and creating new narratives of their own. Historians at the archive study the records that preserve and convey the history that we can all learn from. And mediators, teachers, architects and researchers create exhibitions, educational material and narratives about slavery, human rights, activism, working life, gender issues and political movements. In recent years, the museum has cooperated with private foundations and government agencies to bring the building back to its original expression, so that the museum can continue to be the beacon of activism the building was in the past. The Workers' Museum is not just for workers, and the building is not just a building. It's an expression of a belief that engaging encounters with history will strengthen freedom, equality, and community building for all.